We always seem to think that complex problems need these super complex solutions. But what if the best answer is actually the simplest one? Well, today we're diving into a radically simple idea that completely rethinks how technology can serve, well, everyone.
Okay, so let's just think about this for a second. How many taps does it actually take to send a simple text message? I mean, really count them. You unlock your phone, you find the app, you tap it, find your contact, tap the message field, type out your message, hit send. I mean, you're looking at 5, 6, maybe 7 taps or more, right? It's something we do a dozen times a day without even thinking about it.
Okay, but now, imagine doing all of that if you couldn't see the screen. All of a sudden, that simple, everyday task completely transforms. Every single tap is now a guess. Every icon is an obstacle. What was totally effortless a second ago is now a genuine frustrating challenge. And, that is the daily reality for millions of people with low or no vision. And for these users, our amazing, powerful smartphones can feel less like a helpful tool and more like this incredibly intricate, confusing maze. And look, even with fantastic accessibility features like screen readers, which are amazing, by the way, the sheer complexity of modern interfaces can be just completely overwhelming. This right here, this frames the problem perfectly. We often think these long conversational voice commands are the ultimate solution, right? But just look at the difference. On the left, you've got this long, winding sentence, "Hey, assistant, can you take a note for me?" and so on. There's just so much room for error. But on the right, 2 words, just 2. New memo. It's direct, it's efficient, and it is absolutely unmistakable. So here's the crucial thing to understand. The hurdles aren't because there's a lack of features. It's actually the opposite. It's about information overload. Imagine a screen reader announcing every single button, every banner, every ad. It's about trying to remember the exact phrasing for a dozen different commands. Really, it's a design approach that's prioritized just adding more stuff over being clear and simple. But what if we just stripped all of that away? I mean, all of it. What if we started completely from scratch with one single goal? Radical simplification. Well, that's exactly the thinking behind an incredibly powerful solution that does just that. And this is where our source material comes into play. It's a guide called the 5-Phrase Hands-Free Texting Guide for Low Vision. But honestly, calling it a guide doesn't do it justice. It's more like a manifesto. It makes this bold argument that for a core task like texting, you don't need dozens of complicated commands. You only need 5. That's it. Just 5. The entire complex process of communication boiled down to the fingers on one hand. This one number represents a huge shift in thinking. It's a move away from asking, what else can we add, to asking the more important question, what can we take away? So you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? Well, the trick is, it works by focusing only on the absolute most essential functions of the task. So instead of creating a unique command for every little variation, you just create one simple command for each essential step. And this lays out the logic perfectly. Think about it. Every single time you send a message, you're basically doing these 5 things. You have to start a new message, you have to write it, you probably check it for typos, you might have to fix it, and then finally you send it. This whole system just maps one direct, simple phrase to each of those steps, zero fluff. It's brilliant. Now, the real secret sauce to this whole system is something called the initiate command. It's just a simple, usually 2-word phrase that kicks off one very specific task. The magic here is its absolute clarity. It is designed to be completely unambiguous, so there is literally no way for the user or the device to get it wrong. And you know what? One of our sources actually gives us the perfect, real-world example of this exact principle in action. It comes down to these 2 Korean words, semomo. Now, that might not mean anything to you just yet, but trust me, this simple phrase is the perfect embodiment of this entire idea. It translates, quite simply, to new memo. That's it. It's not, "Hey device, would you mind taking a new memo for me, please?" Just new memo. It's direct, it's clear, and it executes one single function perfectly. This is the simple, powerful heart of this entire design philosophy. And, the impact of thinking this way has a huge ripple effect that goes way beyond just one feature.
It turns out when we design things with simplicity and true accessibility in mind, we often end up creating a better experience for everybody. It's a principle that can lead to a more open, more intuitive, and just a less frustrating digital world for all of us. So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, they're pretty clear. First, simplicity isn't a limitation, it's actually a feature. Second, when you focus on what a user really needs, you empower them. And finally, and this is so important, cutting away all the complexity doesn't reduce what a thing can do, it actually reveals its true function, making it easier to use for everyone. Because really, at the end of the day, this was never just about sending a text message or taking a quick note. It's about being able to connect with your family. It's about being able to participate in the world on your own terms. It's about independence. Which kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. This principle, it's universal. It can be applied anywhere. So what complex part of your world, maybe a piece of tech you use, a process at work, even a daily routine, what part of your life could be made better, clearer, and more accessible if you just boiled it down to its 5 simplest, most essential parts?